So I'm going to introduce myself to you. I'm going to talk a little bit about what my company does and how we can help and benefit you. Then I'm going to introduce my wonderful friend and partner in crime, Lindsey. She'll explain the same thing of what she does, and we'd love to take questions from the audience. So my name is Dara Trujillo. I've been in retail for 28 years, worked 10 years brick and mortar. I worked 15 years for the Walt Disney Company, 5 years at the Home Shopping Network, and now I work for a very large angel investor. What I did at Disney was come up with the ideas, come up with the concepts, and try to pitch them and get them out and get them sold. The difference was any idea that I had was theirs. I didn't get to keep my ideas. So I know what it's like to be in your shoes, to have to pitch, to have to try to get someone to believe in you, to have to get someone to invest in you. And then ultimately, though, those are your ideas. You get to benefit from them. So if you've ever pin traded at Disney or you've seen the Disney Bear, you've been to Bippity Boppity Boutique, the Pirates League, Goofy's Candy Company, all of those are my concepts and are making the Walt Disney Company millions of dollars every single year. And I still drive my same car. Thank you very much. But now I work for an angel investor. And how I got there was through HSN. So working for HSN for 5 years, I flipped the side of the coin and decided to start helping entrepreneurs. I knew what it's like. I knew what it was like to kind of push the water uphill. So I created a program called American Dreams. And I would go out and I would find entrepreneurs and ask them if they wanted to come on live television in front of 98 million households and make them a household name. I grew many businesses from a basement selling 25 units a month to one of our biggest success stories was at $18 million in less than 2 years. I love helping entrepreneurs. So in doing that, I found an incredible angel investor, a woman who had a heart of gold, who started in the basement of her mother's house with nothing other than her computer and decided to create a company to which grew it to $135 million and sold it 5x 2 years ago. She now, because of all of her trials and tribulation and knowing exactly what it's like to sit in your shoes, being a female, being an entrepreneur, the challenges that were there, she now wants to make it her mission to go out, find entrepreneurs who are hungry, who are excited about what they're doing, and help them. She gives funding when maybe other people won't. She invests when maybe you've been told no. She helps you grow, she helps you learn, and then I, on her team, take you into retail. We have major accounts all over the country. We just got one of our partners into Walmart with a huge test come spring of next year. We care about entrepreneurs, and that's what we do. You say, how do I get money? How do I get angel investing? How can someone look at my product and help me? 2 things, the person and the product. Person you might think is the easiest, right? Well, you're like, oh, everyone likes me. I'm a likable person. How many of you would consider yourself, let's be honest, this is the honest question here, people. How many of you would consider yourself an introvert? Raise your hand. Introvert, like, if I really didn't have to speak to another person the rest of my life, I'd be good.
But the real introverts didn't raise their hand.
Right, yeah. They're still sitting down there going, like, should I not? What am I? Okay, I want to see those hands again, but this time high, because just like an introvert, you're like this. Don't even look at me, but raise them up. Okay, guess what? In the world of entrepreneuring, in the world of inventing, you have to teach yourself how to become an extrovert, even if it's for 3 minutes of your life. Why do I say 3 minutes? Because typically that's all you have in front of somebody to make the decision whether or not he or she wants to invest. 3 minutes, people. So if you spend the first 3 minutes talking to somebody like this and you're like, well, here's my product, it's kind of cool, I'm not really sure if you're going to like it. I'm like, what? What are you even saying? You've got to muster up everything you can for those 3 minutes and be the person that you really, really want yourself to be, which is confident and secure, and sell yourself to that person, because when an angel investor invests, they are not only investing in the product, they are investing in you. And Sandy specifically would need to know that you are worth investing in, that you're going to give it your blood, your sweat, your tears. You're going to give it everything you've got. You're not going to be afraid to go in and have that meeting with the buyer if it got set up for you. You're going to be able to answer any question that she has. That is what an angel investor looks for, is the person. But then when you get to the product, as an entrepreneur, there are things you're going to have to know, because you're going to be asked the question. Or if you really learn, you won't have to wait for the question to be asked. You're going to know it, and you're going to say it up front. You're going to be able to tell somebody what the differences are between a feature and a benefit. Feature, you see. Benefit, you don't. Don't describe the product to somebody. Tell me what it's going to do for you. The second thing is you're going to understand whether or not that product is brand spanking new or if it's newly reinvented. Don't tell somebody this is nothing you've ever seen before, because I assure you, we've seen it all. You've just figured out how to make it bigger and better. There's other things that are like it that are on the market, but here's why you're going to want to buy mine. Give me those benefits of it. If it is absolutely 1,000% brand spanking new, then you better have done your research and make sure that when you say that, you're not saying it to somebody who spends hours and hours on the computer and walking the stores to find out if that product really exists. So be careful when you say it. It's fine to have a brand spanking new product that no one has ever seen, but make sure no one's ever seen it. And the last thing, is your product a want or a need? There's a lot of things that I need in my life. I need food, I need water, I need a bed, I need a house, I need a roof over myself. I probably need transportation one way or the other. But do I really need purple hangers because they look really pretty in my closet all unified? I don't need them. But the moment I saw Joy Mangano stand up there with her beautiful purple hanger and show me how much space I could save, which I wouldn't get there if she just described it, wouldn't understand that was a benefit. If she didn't shake it back and forth and show you how absolutely nothing falls off of the hanger, I wouldn't have realized that I actually needed it. But do I want them in purple? Do I need them in purple? Some things are literally an impulse buy, and that's okay. This woman, queen of the impulse buy. Queen of finding products, introducing it, showing it to you in 30 seconds flat. And all of a sudden that thing, you're like, I have to have it. Do you really have to have that item? Is it going to change your life? She's going to tell you it is going to change your life. But you need to walk up and go, look, my product is a need. Every person needs to have this because it solves a problem. Here's the problem that it solves. Here's what it did for me. Put that person in your space. Make them relatable to you. If you tell me the problem you had, chances are I might have had that same problem at some point in time. But if it's not something that truly solves a problem, if it's just a nice to have because it enhances something that I'm already doing, that's okay. Then you say to me, you're really going to want this product. I assure you. After you see what it does, you're going to say to yourself, how did I ever live without it? Yep. But all of that comes back to the person. You have to be able to be an amazing person to sell your product. And then an angel investor will want you, will want your product, will open up his or her wallet, and will fund you and invest in you. So that's who I am, and that's what I do.
Wow.
Sell them, girl.
Can we give it up for Dara? Wow. So you know on Facebook where you see that like hashtag, it's like be like Bob or be like Dara, right? So thank you guys so much for coming out. This is an amazing place. You're in the U.S. Patent Office. I mean, like anybody in this room is probably one of the smartest, most incredible scientists, innovators, single moms, single dads, kids. Like you guys are the heartbeat of America. And I just want to say I am honored and privileged to have met many of you in the last couple of days. And I thank you for continuing to do what you do because you're the hope that we have. Dara and I were just talking because Dara ran an education enterprise with HSN called American Dreams. And we're working on something similar, and she's helping mentor us. And it's really interesting what I learned in the last few days from all of you. Many of you came to our event in the Patent Office the other day, and I just love learning from you. I just have to say, like, I think that that's one of the biggest things in the patent office that I think all of the facilitators here believe in is education. And the UIA is represented in the back as well. You know, they were a nonprofit that was born out of the US Patent Office to help inventors to commercialize their ideas and to bring them to market. And again, I think that that's the part of this that we're talking about today that's so exciting. It's the one piece of information that maybe just isn't talked about enough, which is 111, the piece of code that says you need to be able to commercialize your product. And here's the exciting thing. So Dara has access to angel investors and people with millions of dollars. And again, I can tell you, Sandy's been incredible to me. I've worked with her. I do work with them on a constant basis. And we have a lot of systems that we use, like Facebook, to help their business kind of bring items out and basically use paid media to get them into retail and to push those products. But the kinds of things we do are a little bit more, I'd say they're more guerrilla. They're more things that might appeal to some of you that might want to market your product yourself. So how many of you in the room are looking for licensing? Raise your hand. How many of you in the room are just looking to protect and patent your idea? Okay. How many of you in the room wants to sell a product direct to retail yourself? Raise your hand up like I can see you, okay?
Who's all of the above?
Okay. Okay, all of the above. How many of you wants to actually make money selling your product? Okay, and those of you that didn't raise your hand, clock out. Okay, so let me tell you why. Because as an innovator, and I'm going to stand up.
I know.
Stand up with me. Because as an innovator, you are charged with what? Moving this country forward. Without you, this country does not move forward. And in this country, we have a big problem right now. What is that problem? Innovators are stifled. Well, not that problem. We're not talking about that. This isn't political. This is not a political platform. This is that this enterprise right here, the US Patent Office, is by far the most important piece of real estate that the US government has because it makes us valuable to the world. Every single one of you makes the US valuable every time you file a US patent. And if you weaken that system, the US is no longer valuable. So each one of you every single day needs to be thinking about how much you can affect change. Because those of you that are scientists, that are changing healthcare, that are making it so that infectious diseases stop, you're making it so that people live. That's amazing. I can't do that. I just sell plastic crap at Walmart, and I make people happy. I might make them less depressed, but that's about it. So thank you for what you do. But at the end of the day, the more money you have, it's a tool. It's just a tool, right? Because you can do more with it and you can help people. So this is what me and Dara are here to do, is to help fund and create innovation, because we believe we're affecting real change. We want to help the future of work. We want to help people develop a side hustle so that they can actually fund their ideas. And also we want you to know that there's other options other than just licensing, which licensing is great. We have lots of friends in the back room here, like Steve Heller, Warren, many people that do licensing. I do as well, Dara. But sometimes you just got to do it yourself. I mean, there's a couple of inventors in this room that I love that have done that, like Howie in the back, Howie Bush. I'm sure you've seen him. You know, he's gotten on Shark Tank, commercialized his product. Josh Malone, you know, there's many great people that you can go to and go, hey, how'd you do it? But how do you really do it, right? So my little story is kind of funny. I'm just going to tell it real quick, and then we're going to get back to the good stuff, because I want you to leave with a couple of really cool things that you can do right now to make money, to sell your product, literally today by next week. Free stuff, okay? So I started my business with $200. I had Hodgkin's disease lymphoma when I was 19 years old. I was getting divorced. My ex-husband left me. I was in the middle of the street working a street fair. It was my last $200. In that weekend, I made $6,000 at 90 pounds, sick as a dog from chemotherapy and radiation, and I funded my business because I worked my butt off in the street selling because I had to, right? So people go, well, wow, that's a pretty crazy story, huh? Well, in that next year, I made my first $1 million when I was 20. I've done it 4 other times. I've sold over $4 billion worth of product on television by now. Like, I'm 37 now. So when you can sit there and go, wow, well, how did you do that? I can't really tell you. I'm a high school dropout. I don't have parents that had money. I didn't have a lot of, I've had some investors here and there, but not anything really huge. You know, I mean, I use credit and things like that sometimes, but not any more credit than probably most of you have a better credit score than I do even now. But that's because I just never exercised it. I've learned now in the last few years more about it than I probably ever knew, because I was a hustler and I was a bootstrapper. I knew how to save myself. And if I can teach you anything in this next 5 minutes, it's how to sell. You need to learn how to sell. So when you protect an idea, which is why you're here, is to protect your idea for yourself, for others, and for the future of innovation. Yes, a patent is a personal piece of property, but it is also public property. It is to fund, it is to create innovation in a space so that it can be innovated upon again and again and again for future generations, right? You're part of changing history. Digest that for a second. It's not just about you and your property, it's about where are we going, right? So when I say that, that little marker of that application that gets approved that becomes a plaque on your wall that you should be very proud of. How many of you in the room have a patent? Amazing. Let's give it up for those people. That's really wonderful. Now what you have to do with that patent, that thing that you've protected, it's not produce the merchandise. It's not go put a bunch of money into some submission company somewhere. It's not give some person a bunch of money to create a marketing plan. You need to sell first. You need to build that interest first. What I do first, myself, even today, I take things out to little farmers markets and street fairs. I stand in front of people and I ask them, now, you've seen this towel before, right? Now watch this. Slide it and glide it across your mess. The faster you move, the more it picks up. Maybe you have a nervous puppy dog at home. Tie it to his tail. He'll pick up after himself all day long. You see, this is like, let's say I'm selling that crazy rag thing that I sold on TV at one point. This is what you're doing. You're actually selling a product, and then you're asking them one thing. And that one thing that you need to ask them is, do you want to get one? Everybody say it with me. Do you want to get one? Do you want to get one? Yes, right? And you nod your head a little bit like this, and then you just say yes. And that is the thing. You need to see if people will swipe their credit card. If they will swipe their credit card, you have a winner. Does that make sense? Everybody agree? Thank you. Okay, so protect, then pitch. Now, what happens after that? You have a winner. Well, guess what happens? When you pitch and you sell things, you get money. Okay, so you don't have to be betrothed necessarily to some company that says a certain way, or some investor that says a certain way, or a bank that's telling you you can only have this much money to do this. You have your own money, right? And guess what that does for an inventor? It makes your IP more valuable. Because guess what? You sold it first. So instead of going to Sandy's group and saying, I have this thing, I'm not sure if it works, will you try it and sell it? I swear to God, if any of you call me again, email me or text me, I have this thing, it's patented, I've never sold it, will you do it for me? No. Sell first, give me a winner. If you're not willing to eat your own dog food and show me that it works, I'm not interested. Because you don't even believe enough in yourself. There's enough charlatans in the world already. And truly, a real, genuine person who really wants to be an innovator. How many of you in here see yourself as an innovator or a visionary? Raise, all of you better raise your damn hands. Raise it up. You are an innovator, okay? So,
I think they need to say it to believe it.
Yes, I think they do. I am an innovator.
One more time.
Do you guys believe it or not?
Yes.
Stand up, stand up, stand up.
I don't.
Ready? Get
I want you to feel this.
Right.
For you introverts that are in the room, y'all need to really be stand up.
Stand up.
I see you.
If you can stand up. We're just going to
you.
do this really quick, and then we're going to get back to it. But
I want to hear it.
we want to hear it. 1, 2, 3. I am an innovator.
Woo!
Oh, okay, awesome.
Oh, come see me. I'll invest in you.
All right.
Let's go.
All right, so that's great. So when you're an innovator,
Sit.
thank you. You sit down. Very good. Now we're live. When you are an innovator and you really believe it, no one can stand in your way. So, oh, thank you. But we talk a long time. Sorry about that. Especially you. I'm just kidding. I'm just teasing. That's why I love her. She does all the talking, and I take all the money. I'm just kidding. That's what you say when you work the booth with your husband, by the way, in the farmer's market. What I was going to say, though, is when you're an innovator, you have no problem testing your ideas, going out and asking for money because you believe in it. When you're a charlatan, you never want to test because you're afraid of what you might find out. You should actively be asking every human that buys a product from you for as much feedback as possible early on because you want to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you're right. If you're right, you build a business on it. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of really quick things that you can do yourself to actually make money to invest in your product now. So you're going to write these down. The first thing is, have you heard of a little company called Airbnb? Okay, so does everybody live in a house? Raise your hand if you live in a house. Raise your hand if you live in an apartment that has more than one room. Raise your hand if you have a couch, a closet. Airbnb was started out of a closet. The guy that started Airbnb was literally renting out air mattresses in his closet in Silicon Valley because in Palo Alto, it costs $350 to have a room. And where a young startup guy, you only have $75 maybe to survive for a week or a year, because you're living on ramen. So he did this, and that was how Airbnb was born, right? So I just wanted to, at one point, start this site because I wanted to help people make money. Long story short, I was like, let me think about the sharing community and maybe try it. So I started with one room in my house, $50. I would live in Seattle. Wow, $50 a night, people pay to live in my house? Weird, okay. Then I raised it. I got all the way up to $500 a night from my condo in downtown Seattle. Well, wow. So then I went out and found a boyfriend, and I said, you have a nice house by Seattle Space Needle. Let's do your house too. Put that on. Then we were both homeless. But we had a lot of money, so we were like, okay. Then I got 2 more. Do you know that I didn't buy a piece of property? I actually rented and subletted those for 4 months, and I grossed over $300,000 just by leveraging other people's houses with Airbnb. So I took money out of thin air. It's the same as when you go to that farmer's market. You have 10 pieces of something that you handmade. You made it for $1 and you sold it for 20. You leveraged something that you did, and you put that into your soul and yourself. That's pretty cool, right? So Airbnb.com, put a room up, start making money. Rover.com, I'm sure some of you guys got to meet my son, Paul. How many of you met Paul? He's a cool kid, right? Paul's 13 years old. He made $200,000 in a summer walking dogs. Started with 2 dogs in the house. There's this great site called Rover.com. Does everybody like dogs? Anybody like dogs? It's easy to watch a dog. They go potty, they eat, they go to sleep. Simple. You're sitting on your computer all day, they can do that with you.
You gotta feed them.
Do you know that you can make $50 a day watching a dog? I didn't either. Here these dogs are paying $100 a day, 2 of them. Well, what's that? That's $700 a week. Times that by 4 weeks in a month, that's $2,800 a month. It's a decent living on 2 little dogs. My son said, well, let's have 15. Okay, mom bought a ranch. So there you go. That's how that happened. Anyway, so these are some amazing things that you can do right now. One last one I'm going to tell you, and then I'm going to kick it back to Dara, and we're going to open up for a couple questions because I think we have about 5 minutes. Is the final one, which is called a website called Upwork. Have you heard of Upwork? Upwork, UPWORK. Put it in there. 2 reasons why it's good. You can learn how to do anything online on Upwork because they have free classes. Okay, so that means like Excel, Microsoft Word, whatever. And guess what? Once you learn it and you get certified, they'll actually literally help you find a person in a company that will hire you to do it from home. So let's say you need to work from home because you're taking care of an aging parent, or you're a mom, or you're a dad that's taking care of children. You can literally start making money today working for companies all over the world. I outsource all over the world, US, Canada, internationally. It's one of the greatest things in the world. And for an entrepreneur, like let's say you need somebody to do graphic design, accounting, something for you, you're already on the site and you can hire other people to help you. And the cool thing is the site actually takes the money for you, handles the transaction, they take a little fee, but you get paid every week. So you never have to worry about getting paid. Upwork.com, okay? So those are 3 ways that you can make money to commercialize your product instantly. Pretty cool, huh? All right, now, back to Dara. Why what I said is important, and that's why I want to throw it back to her, is I want you to learn one last thing from me, which is this. When you are an inventor and an innovator, and you invest in yourself, it is single-handedly the most important thing you will ever do. Last night I said to a group of people, I said a patent costs right now, so a long time ago it cost $5 to get one, and they were issued the same day. Now it costs about $22,645.17 on average for an inventor to get a patent. That's with the years of time, the legal, maybe loss of income. This is just sort of one number that I've heard. And it makes sense because that's about what some of the ones I've seen have cost. But forget about the price. Think about what you're doing right now. You're working every day all year long, and all that money is just going into your rent and this and that and all your bills. Invest in you. 1 year of earnings is nothing compared to investing in yourself. Because when you invest in yourself, you make 100% of the money. It's about you. So when you invest in you and you go to Dara and you say, I've already got a product, it's sold, it sold 20,000 pieces, I did it in this farmer's market, now you have an angel investor that's not going to take as much of your company and see that you're a great founder and that you deserve to make the money. And that's that.
Yeah, yeah. So, and with that, a few other little quick tips. How many of you have ever heard of a company called Range Me? You need to know about the company called Range Me. All of you need to be on it.
We have 5 minutes.
Just like
Sarah.
LinkedIn, it's free service, but you can also pay for premium. Every single buyer in the United States uses Range Me.
I need to write that down. Jake,
They go in and they search products by category. You can have one product and have 25 units. RangeMe.com. That's what you need to know. You also need to be a member of the United Inventors Association. Free. Be a member. Be in a community. You've got lots of amazing talent that will help you. And last, go join a local SCORE agency, a division of the SBA. Every single community has a SCORE agency. Free service, free mentoring, free business plan building, free feedback. You can't get any much better than free.
Free.
Free, free, free.
We take questions?
Yes, we're going to entertain questions.
Okay.
We're going to entertain them. I love that. No, stand. You do good when you walk back
I was
and
getting
forth.
a little
Getting a little
spitzy. Sweating.
So for those who have questions, we are now open for questions.
Oh, good.
No questions?
We're like, we answered them all.
Wow.
Awesome.
Well, that's good.
We
Oh,
good
there's
with
one
time?
right there in the middle. Good.
I like to ask questions when nobody asks questions.
Good.
And, so is that what you guys are standing up and show us? Is that your 10 minutes sales class or any other tips you want to tell us how to sell our product?
Yeah,
or even
so-
sell our ideas?
Yes, absolutely. So what really good is, are there any other tips that you can give to help you sell your product? The biggest thing I always suggest to an entrepreneur is to take your product, go to a farmer's market several different weekends, and price it differently. Give somebody something for free to try your product. Everybody loves something free, right? Instead of you standing out there and going, hey, I just want your feedback for 5 minutes, have cookies, have free water, have soda, have something there that draws them over. Ask them, this is all you want to do, is you want them to put your product in their hand, and you want them to look at it, and all you're asking for is your feedback. What you can do with 25 people that you get during that night, and you need to be very specific with your feedback. Do you like it? Do you understand how it works? Would you pay this price for it? Especially if you're testing out your price point. Would you pay this for this particular product? Get them to give you feedback. Ask them if you can use their name, an email address, or something. Ask if you can use it. Then what you do when you get ready to go in front of a retailer, a buyer, an angel investor, anybody else, you get to say, 100% of my customers, no one needs to know it's 25. 100% of the people surveyed liked this product. You will then also learn that $19.99 is your sweet spot, not $29.99. Don't price yourself out of the market. Just because you're a new invention, that doesn't give you the right to say, I'm equivalent to Calvin Klein, and Calvin Klein sells this particular t-shirt, therefore mine should also be $49.99. That's not how it works.
Right, but just to add to that, because she's saying something important, and I want to take this question over here, so I'll make this fast. People don't buy things because you invented it and you're an engineer and you're awesome and you're really smart. They buy it because you give them an excellent value proposition. So let's say you invented a cheese grater that's $19.99. Maybe there's something else in the same category that at $29.99 you can give away for free. Hey, if you act now, I'm going to give you this free. You get an extra $10 for something that costs you 25 cents to $1. Go to the dollar store and pick out something that goes with it and see if that works.
Buy this, get this.
Your question?
You've made yourself available for this wonderful conference, but if an inventor needed to, on what grounds would an inventor reach out to you individually? What would you welcome, and how would you be able to help offer assistance to inventors, or advice would you be able to give us individually? Because I don't want to bombard you and just be another person reaching out saying, hey, I saw you at the conference. So what's a good reason to reach out to you, and when should we reach out to you?
So for me,
fantastic.
I have a free Facebook group. It's just like a free thing. Just come on. It's called Instapreneur. If you just go on Facebook, it's Instapreneur. Lindsey fan club Facebook. Me and my team are in there, and you can just ask questions. That's a free group, and you're welcome to just come in and talk. And then we also have my email is Lindsey@Boardwalk Brand. I do have help that checks my email. I'm not as fast sometimes at responding because I get like 250,000 emails a week. But we definitely respond on Facebook. My Facebook guy's in the back too, so if you want to say hi to him, that's Jake back there. So if you have questions about Facebook.
Yes,
Dara?
so for the funding company, because not everybody needs an investment. Sometimes you want to find licensing. Sometimes you just want to give somebody a royalty because they have 500 retailers in their database, and you're like, no, I want to keep them enjoying my money. I'll give you 5% if you get me into XYZ retailer. So an angel investor, not just my company, they do multiple things. You should always ask the question, though, because sometimes there are people who are just wanting to give you money in exchange for your equity play. But there's a lot of them out there that say, no, I want you to run your company and own your company. I don't need your money. But if I help you and I get you into Target and now you're selling 400,000 units a year, it's okay if you give me 5% of that. So angel investors work differently. But if you go to SLC Group Holdings, that's the name of our company and angel investing, SLC Group Holdings, there's a place at the very bottom for you to either submit your idea, ask questions, and we monitor that daily, and we get back to everybody. Sandy is extremely generous with her time, and we have counseled hundreds of entrepreneurs without taking anything. Because again, remember, she was in your shoes, and her goal is to help. I brought my business cards today. Many of you saw me yesterday, so I have my cards. Happy to give those out too as well.
And if you want to talk to me after too, come on over and I can get you connected with my team too.
Okay, we
Steve?
have one
We have one
final
there.
question over here, and then we're going to.
Hi, I have a product that I invented that I've been selling on Amazon for the past few years with a lot of success, but have never taken it to retail brick and mortar because that's quite frankly a whole nother animal and something that I have no idea how to navigate. So if I were to come to somebody like you or go to an angel investor to get money, because perhaps if I went to a Target, they would give me a huge order, which would be great, but I might have this money, but I have no idea how to even start manufacturing at those kinds of quantities
Levels.
and the whole, all the legalese that goes into working with these types of companies. So it's do you guys would you help bridge that gap and help navigate that whole thing? Because quite frankly, now I'm at a point where I know I wanted to be in brick and mortar, and I've gone to a licensing company just so that, because I don't know how to do it, and I'm going to let them just, license it to them, let them do the distribution, and I'll take a royalty. And I wonder, am I selling myself short by doing it that way?
Sometimes it totally just depends upon what the product is and what you want to get out of it. Are you at the point where you're like, I just can't manage this myself, I've got other things I want to do, I have the next invention that I've got in my back pocket and I want to work over here? Licensing is perfect because then someone else takes it and runs with it, and you just sit back and get money. And my wonderful good friend Warren Tuttle, if he's even in here, he was a little bit ago, head of licensing for multiple companies. My friend Stephen Heller licenses products over here. You've got really great people that are in that industry. What we also have, though, what we work with is not only licensors to do that business, we have manufacturers, we have distributors. Great partner in the back, Solomon, raise your hand. Solomon is our go-to guy for distribution. So Solomon will also be the one that helps and gets you that 1,000-unit order. In the event that you get one of those orders and you're unable to fulfill it, an angel investor will do factoring for you. They will front load your PO for you. They will help you get the manufacturing and the units that you need. And all you do is you pay them a small percent on that business loan. But they take care of it for you. So yes, an angel investor is great to go to as a next step because there's so many different channels to go to, not just always giving up a percent of your company, helping you get it because they're the ones that have the connections that you might not.
And I would just say on top of that, so with distribution and things like that, we also do Facebook, right? So sometimes if you're doing well on Amazon, maybe it's hard to slip over into impulse buy, because impulse and a purchase where somebody is actually making a decision to go there and find it, like Amazon's a place you go for things, it's a totally different person, but it doesn't mean that they're not on Facebook looking, and that's more of an impulse shopper. We've been able to commercialize a lot of businesses through Facebook. So, and Jake's in the back, my Facebook partner, and I work with Solomon as well, and we also do a lot of retail distribution. So feel free to reach out to us, and we all collaborate.
And her team is fantastic for tests to bridge that medium, going over from one avenue to the next. And as I mentioned with RangeMe, you have tons of buyers that are on there to look at your product, so you could actually even go direct with them. If they say to you, I need 100,000 units, that's when you're going to need somebody like myself, a Solomon or a Lindsey.
But you want to be able to make those decisions as you speak with all of us, and we work together a lot. Like sometimes what will happen is we might be able to commercialize something through Facebook with you and help your business grow, and then let's say it gets into retail with us, with Solomon or some collaboration, then we push it to Sandy to pay for it because she wants to push it farther, and then she can give you kind of the wings that's necessary to push it down the road. So it's kind of like a community in a way. And then it might not even be for us. We both have huge, extensive books full of friends and family that we can have and introduce to you to help you. So, yeah.
Okay, are you learning anything? Great.